Today I'm in London, I'm in Trafalgar Square, I'm at a rally called The Time Is Now, it's all for climate change. I'm here to learn, check it out right here, right now. Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Dan Beesley and this channel is all about inspiring intentional discipleship, helping you go deeper in your faith and living it out in the world today. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm opening myself up. I'm at a rally called The Time Is Now, which is to put pressure on the UK government to change their kind of policies and their targets on climate change. Climate change not being a big thing really on my radar. I've got a friend sitting over there, Gemma, who I come with. She's big into this, so she's invited me down. I'm opening myself up. We're going to go to a talk now to look at all the facts and figures. Later on around here, there's going to be in Trafalgar Square 10 to 15,000 people. Big Christian organisations, Christian Aid, Operation Noah, are going to be here. Going to try to get some of the atmosphere, see what it's really like. The people turn up, try to speak to some people why they climate change is such a huge thing for them as Christians. What is the reality of these kind of headlines that you hear that we've got 10, 12 years left and the world's going to heat up by so many degrees, it's going to be really bad, and how are we going to change that? So, and what does that mean for us as Christians? So join me throughout the day as I'll be here going around and get some sights of London as well. There's Nelson's Column, it's such a beautiful, amazing place, and let's go. So we're going to go now to a talk to hear about the facts of climate change. Just getting told off by Gemma. So we are in a church called St Martin in the Fields, which is a pretty spectacular place to be in. Very beautiful, lots of pews. We're at a talk, so Gemma's here, for, it's called, just looking at the screen, the IPCC special report, giving, is it 15 facts or something about climate change? It's got 15 up there. So it's going to be going through.
It's a walkthrough of the IPCC report.
Okay, so it's a walkthrough of the IPCC report given by the Catholic Agency for Overseas Development. So it's filling up in here. So this is where Gemma really wanted to get me. So now I learn about all the facts about, the true facts about climate change. So we're going to sign off for now. I'm going to listen and then we'll catch up outside about what I've learned.
I can nag you some more.
This is 420 million. That's a big amount for half a degree difference, right? So we can see also that ecosystems in a 2-degree world will see a 13% shift of ecosystems. So that could be a loss of ecosystems or a move in ecosystems. So we talked about maybe the tundra, we might be losing parts of the tundra.
So we've just come out the talk from CAFOD, Catholic Agency for Overseas Development. They are getting ready now to do a walk down. Gemma's got her banner, which she's been desperate to get, which actually I think is quite funny because it's a plasticky paper, so I've already said that. So that was an interesting talk because what they were trying to do is talk about the impacts of climate change from the IPCC report, from their basis of what they're doing and what they're seeing as they're going around the world and the impacts on different people groups, and kind of make it the reality. And I'm getting Gemma, come Gemma. There's nothing worse, and we've got entertainment over there. There's nothing worse than someone trying to say off camera.
No, you do the talking.
Okay, so Gemma doesn't like being on camera, but now this is important time.
They were telling us about the importance of keeping the warming to under 1.5 degrees and the much greater impact of if we go beyond that.
So what CAFOD, in a sense, which the bit I like, which kind of speaks to me and people in different ways, is they're talking about the on-the-ground impact and what they're seeing on the ground. And if things change as they are, so in Africa, obviously beyond the equator, it's a lot hotter, and the impacts there are far more great at the moment than they are in anywhere else where it's just 1 degree. But they were talking about what happens when it gets to 1.5 and what's irreversible after that. And one of the good things that I really liked in that, he talked about, because one of my arguments to Gemma is trying to change like your next door neighbour and their thoughts, and people are inherently selfish in their own ways, including myself. And they talked about one thing that got me was the size of chips go down.
That's the hook.
Yeah, because
Millions will perish globally and you're worried about the size of your tubes.
no, because that's the impact that you get the everyday person on, and it's a talking point, because potatoes will get smaller because they won't grow as big, because the ground will get warmer, the heat, the sun's going to get warmer, less rain, less, and all those things. So actually, what it brings the reality home to people in an everyday normal way, and I think that's the biggest thing that has to happen. And I like the way that the guy in there was speaking about the everyday reality of it to everyday people. That's what I liked. That then includes a bigger impact. So what's happening now, so it was a good talk actually, and they did a good balance. So it was good for me to go there, and they didn't get into the facts and figures so much, so there's a lot more questions that I would have. And I'm just looking around now, so they got this walk that they're going to do, there's people lined up.
Listen to me more, you wouldn't have so many questions.
Yeah, listen to Gemma more. So we're going to walk through now. Everyone's got their nice plastic signs saying the time is now to restore creation. so not fully convinced on most things. I'd like to see if they're really living this out, and that's my thing, because I'm pragmatic. If you're living it out, then you do everything properly. So yeah, what we're going to do, we'll get on this walk and see where we go from here. Maybe try to speak to some people as well. So we've ended up next to all the school kids who are making the right racket. I love being pretty awesome. Really shouting, creating a stir. We're getting loads of photos. It's taking ages to walk down because there's so many people and we have to walk down the path. But there's a queue going really far. But actually, it is making an impact. So we're going from Trafalgar Square down to the House of Parliament, which is, you can just see, which is just down over there. There's Big Ben. Lots of people on the sides of the roads taking notice of what this is about. These kids have got all quiet now. Look, I've got the camera out and they're all quiet. Why aren't you shouting?
I'm shouting out. My voice is out.
Oh, their voice is out already. So, YouTube.
My voice is out. The planet is hurting more. Save the environment.
There you go.
Otherwise, we will perish.
So they're gone all quiet now. They're gone all quiet.
Boss, my feet hurt.
You've only gone like 2 minutes. Every time they go past anywhere, they just get the attention of people. So we're going to carry on walking down here. It's getting better now, so we're walking quicker. And we'll try to speak to some people about why they're actually here today.
Yeah, he's what he said. You're enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm legacy music.
So we are just by down the street. Just over there is down the street, and carrying on walking now. Moving a lot freer. London Eye is just behind me there. Lots of different faiths here represented, all coming at this from their own points of view in a sense. But more importantly, the Christian faith that we have, there's Christian Aid around, lots of Christian Aid people, so there's people over there in their red t-shirts, really stand out, do a lot of Gemma's family, they do a lot in the climate change thing. There's Tearfund, another great Christian charity. There's another one that Gemma's actually involved with called Operation Noah. Do a lot. All these links to their websites are below, so if you want to check out what they do. It's looking, there's quite a few hundred people actually walking down here. Gemma's taking the photo of me recording. Very peaceful. More of a, it's a first. This is actually the first walk or anything I've been on of any of this kind. It's quite quiet. I thought there'd be a lot of noise, a lot of chanting, but actually it's quite a peaceful thing. This afternoon in Parliament Square, we're nearly at, like I said, there's going to be 10 or 15,000 people, and it's really to, as they said in that talk, to really get on the MPs back, to really get them to as an MP have that influence and get the MPs to be influenced by this and start to vote in Parliament and change policies to get things changed. Am I more convinced now than I was when I came down? I've learned a few things. I've always been sympathetic to the environment and know all those things anyway. I think we should have been always more ecological. I think how we tell the story is important, and I think that's one thing that when I was discussing with Gemma, who's over there, that we always talk about. Actually, this is really important, that the story's got to get across really well, and this is why I spoke about the chips and stuff. You've got to make it real to people and how it really impacts them, and then you can speak about the bigger things. The bigger things can seem too far away. Learned this with Christianity as well, speaking to people about all the different issues. How do you make it a reality to them when this is a reality? So, didn't think this wasn't happening. Like I said before, it wasn't on my radar. So in a sense, this event is highlighting stuff to me. Just on a side note, we have over there House of Parliament, meaning when I did the London Marathon, I've done the London Marathon twice. So I run down past the Houses of Parliament over there and down this road here. As you're getting to the end, knackered. So it's good to be here, and I haven't managed to speak to people yet, but let's see if we can get some people this afternoon. So I was saying before about the noise and it being really quiet. If there's one thing, is that there's some girls behind from the school, and they've been like that all the way down, so they're making a racket and a lot of people taking notice and doing really well. So actually that's what I like. That's what I like in a good protest, to get attention. It's been a kind of very silent walk, so kudos to them. Okay, so what happened was I thought we were staying in the Houses of Parliament, which are actually just behind us, so I thought we were going over the other side, stopping there, and we kept walking around to Church House, and I think Church House is where the Church of England's base is, I think, or somebody's base. Very nice. And we come to this park. Gemma's just on her phone. Over there, as most people are. Lots of people are recording things actually. And all the way down there, people are gathering. So we're just going to get ready to gather to get to the House of Parliament. That's where the majority of people are going to come for the lobby. And over lunch we've just been chatting about all the different organisations that are here. So it's a big, as I said, multi-faith event, but lots of good Christian charities here, but there's also other charities. Just looking around here now, there's like Rainforest and the National Trust are here, and there's one for some reason, I don't know what it was, a guy walking through with a condom, as a condom, and I think he lost. Hopefully he lost. Who's going to wear the condom? But there's... Don't screw with the planet. Oh, don't screw with the planet. But you do screw if it's protected, no? It's kind of a bit weird analogy that they're trying to use there. WWF, so there's over there some World Wildlife Fund people sat down, and there's a huge amount of people, lots of young people, and we know that climate change is a big issue for young people. A lot of families. Interestingly, schools come down. So I think that Catholic school and the very loud girls were from a school. You've got the Wombles of Wimbledon over there, and I'm just trying to see different kind of charities here. But yeah, it's a huge amount of different people coming here, and especially charities. I suppose a lot of it are linked to environmental things, either from the animal perspective or from the person perspective. But they've all come down to join this lobby, which is really interesting to see that and how they have it from their different points of view. But what's really nice is the age range, very peaceful. And there's people over here, all the way from Scotland, coming down, and that's the other thing. This is a whole UK-wide thing, so there's people coming down from everywhere, from all four corners of the nations, as it were, to put their support to this. So what we're going to do now is going to head over and join up with the main crowd and go to Parliament Square, where it's all about lobbying your MP. So we'll go and see what's happening. So what's happening is we're walking down by the river. We're on the other side of the river now, and lots of people. So there's all these signs around for different areas, and I think they relate to the MPs. So what's happening is actually the MPs are coming out of Parliament and they're coming to engage with people who are under these signs. So MPs walking down, finding their respective constituencies, that's what we call them over here, and engaging with the people there. And in about 5 minutes time, just over 5 minutes time, everyone's going to set off their alarm because it's to wake them up, to kind of set the alarms off. So a bit of a thing going on, just working out where we are. So just behind a big sign, obviously there's an MP in there really engaging. So that is, the good thing is it's getting the MPs out. I don't know if all the MPs come out to engage. So there's a bit of context over there, the Houses of Parliament. So we've walked all the way back round. So we're going to head down to ours, which is Buckinghamshire, and just realised I haven't looked in the camera, and to see what's happening down there. Hopefully our MP is down there, but we're kind of unique in our place because the MP is actually the Speaker of the House, so doesn't have a vote, doesn't really have anything to do, so it'd be interesting to see if he's down here engaging in this. So let's get down. Gemma's running off. So now we're in the Buckinghamshire patch, and in a couple of minutes the alarm's going to go off. I feel a bit interloper because I moved from Buckinghamshire a couple of weeks ago, but Oxfordshire's down there. But I will be back in Buckinghamshire in a few months' time. So bit of a national trustee has got the alarms. So everyone's set the alarms. Gemma's got a phone.
It's a manual version.
It's got a manual version. That's going to be the loud one. It's going to be more effect. I got my phone. Don't know how loud it is though. So everyone's getting prepared. It is. So there's quite a few people. So. And then all over behind the trees over there, there's all the people from the north, all the people over on the bridge over there. So there's huge amounts of people. I think that's an MP just there for somewhere chatting to his constituents. So the alarm's going to go off. He wakes up early.
2, 1, go.
Funny because the MP is still trying to chat in all this. He's still trying to make conversation. So alarm's still going off to signify the alarm to wake up to climate change for all of the government and the MPs. So that's what that is about. And I think now they go off to what do you call it? To the House of Parliament. To see the sign there saying it's, the next one won't be biblical. So let's get into the next part of this, as everyone is now tweeting this, what's going on. So now I'm with Bishop Stephen, who's my bishop. Who,
Hi, very good to see you. I'm with Dan.
So might be more on my bishop depending on a decision I'm going to make tonight for a job, so and a calling. So Bishop Stephen, I heard that you were here.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why is this so important? And why is it important to us as a church, as Christians?
Well, I think the care of creation and the climate catastrophe we're living through is the most important public issue of our day, and I think it's for every citizen to really engage with this as best we can. And it's for the church particularly, because we believe God made the heavens and the earth and has given us the task of stewarding creation, and we need to be able to face the truth that climate change is happening, and also face the truth in hope that as Christians we can help lead change so that there is a future for generations. I read a book a few weeks ago called The Uninhabitable Earth. The opening sentence of the book, "The science is good," says it all. It's much, much, much worse than you think it is, what's happening to our climate. And we need everybody to be active, doing our own bit, but also being engaged politically.
Has the church really got on board with this enough, or are we kind of coming into this too late?
I don't think we're too late, but I think that, as the headline for this lobby says, the time is now. And I think we're seeing some encouraging signs of public awareness growing through the school children's movement, Greta Thunberg, through people's awareness of plastics now and what that's doing to the environment. So I don't think it's too late, but I think it really is important that the church gets on board.
And how do you, like as a bishop, cut through the theological essence of this, where you got that one end where saying, well, we're going to get a new heaven, new earth, this doesn't really matter, it's going to be all replaced. So what we do now, and actually this it could be, played out in the book of Revelation, we're here, so let's just, how do you...
Well, I think we have a responsibility as Christians to be good stewards of the good earth that God has given to us, and we also have a responsibility to pass on to our children and grandchildren the earth in a better condition than we found it, and we're passing it on in an infinitely worse condition than my generation found it, and in another 25 years it's going to be incomparably worse again at the moment. Greenhouse gas emissions are still going up globally. They haven't started to come down yet. Just to turn that corner and bring those greenhouse emissions down will take a huge effort for everybody. It's fantastic the government have committed to net 2050, net zero carbon by 2050, but there's a huge amount to do to make that target a reality. And
when did that become a reality to you? Was your mind changed, or have you always been sympathetic?
I think I've always been, I hope, sympathetic to the environment, but I've become much more active in speaking and writing, and I sit in the House of Lords and doing things to do with the climate in recent years, because I think the science has become uncontroversial, that we're in the Anthropocene era, that mankind is affecting the planet really, really seriously. It's affecting the poorest of the earth disproportionately, and we just need to change that in our generation. And if we don't, who will?
Well, no, it's amazing to come down here, seeing all these people, and how actually how the media portray this before, when you had the process a few months ago. They portray a kind of particular one group type of people, not that that's bad, but the normality that's here is quite amazing.
It's been a very joyful day. The faith leaders march together was really a good example of the different faiths working together. There's a lot of joy and hope as people gather here. There's respectful dialogue with MPs, which has been great and is really important at the moment. And I think it's been a great event.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for stopping. Thank you for being here.
It's good. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Okay, cheers. So we're back in the park where we had lunch, and Gemma is getting, she saw somebody with a panda on their face. So she's getting a panda painted on her right now. But I saw, and you got a panda as well. This is Amita.
Amita, yes.
And she's got a panda. So on the other side of the bridge over there, everyone was getting a photo of her sign. Yeah, so just saying, just asking you why you were here and what's the reason for your being here, because there's so many different people here, different reasons.
So many people.
So
because
why?
Because we all are concerned about our planet, wildlife, forests, oceans. The industry is what they are doing to us, or we are doing ourselves, but it's actually at the end, it's not good for our planet. We have to do something at individual level or organization level or business level or at politics. You need to start. It's like we are here, it's like clock is ticking, it's already done enough damage. We need to take it seriously, very seriously, trust me, at individual level as well. Just change your lifestyle, think about what you eat, how do you eat, plastic you use in day-to-day life. Just start thinking about it, because people are spreading message every day and we need to start from our own side, along with government. They are doing their bit, we'll do our bit. We'll save our planet as well. It's our responsibility too. So I'm here.
And when did you start having this passion for?
So it's been for almost 10 years. I won't say I love nature. Millions people do. Millions and millions people, they are madly in love with nature. Mountains, oceans, forests. So, and now we know the threat is that we are spoiling everything, being selfish because we want to develop. That's not the way. We can't, because nature is very beautiful. It gives us all the time, never ask anything in return, and we are just being very selfish. So let's at our level save our planet, save our species. Just, you know, look into your celebrations. How do you celebrate? How do you use disposals? Why do you use? Start recycling stuff. It's your day-to-day basis, and you will contribute to immense level. And then that's what I believe. I follow a simple life. I don't go for shopping. I don't use plastic. I don't use stuff or buy stuff which says not yet recycled. I see it carefully and then I use it. I'm not dying. These stuff are just for my lifestyle. At the end, I have normal food, and that's enough for me. Yeah, no need to use plastic so much. Use stuff which we don't need. Don't buy stuff which we don't need. Just live a simple life, and you will contribute to your environment.
And you found it easy to live that life? Is it easy?
It's very easy, and you feel happy about it, because when you have material, you know, lots of stuff around you, material, you won't feel good, because we are nature, you know, we're part of nature, so it's better if we are with nature, in touch with nature. So just leave all your materialistic stuff behind and just be, you know, the way the nature made you, you know?
And is it hard to actually do that when you go shopping though? Like with the supermarkets or local shops having lots of plastics? And
so
does that make it hard?
No, it's not. It's not. See, it depends on you how much you want to use. You know, if you are conscious about it. Like me, I think about environment, so I cut short on my needs. Okay. I don't want to, because if I can buy something online, I'll go and buy online rather than spending. Or I use public transport all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, try to say, if you know, spread message if you are aware that how can you save environment. Don't recycle stuff your own. I don't have a recycle dustbin, but I store my recycle stuff and then go to the near recycle wherever we have bins, and I dump my stuff there. So it's a small, very small things on day-to-day basis, and it contributes huge to your environment, to your species. I think everybody loves environment. Everybody loves animals. Everybody loves birds, trees. So why we can't, you know, do something about it? Why are we just waiting for the government or anybody else? Start from yourself.
Okay, so you're like, actually, if we start ourselves as well.
Yes,
then,
as well.
Yeah.
They will do their bit, as in, then they know that we are aware and we are also concerned about it. When we stop using plastic, definitely they can change to industries. Chase them, that people are not willing. You stop, you know, offering them plastics. Bags, like takeaways, all the time you carry your paper bag. You don't need to. You don't need to have that I want a takeaway, give me a paper bag. No, keep it your bag with you. Save it. These are very small things actually, I believe in that way. The bigger impact, for example, I'm very much against into that, what do you say, fireworks, New London, that's my target. And that's what I'm doing. I'm asking no fireworks, no celebration.
Okay.
So we don't need that kind of a celebration.
We could do it
I know
way.
it's just for a minute, 7 minutes or so, but it's bad. It's very bad for the environment. Trust me, the sound, the impact of it. So we don't need that kind of a celebration in cost of our planet.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, I'm emotional.
No. It's a passion. I see a lot of passion around here for this. Everyone's real passionate. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
So that's the thing around here. There's loads of people around, still lots of people speaking to their MPs. Ben and Jerry's are taking advantage and bringing down some vegan ice cream, and it wasn't that great, to be honest, Ben and Jerry's. But everyone's passionate, and what's really struck me is the normality of everything, of everyone. And that's probably a cynical thing from my point of view, because when you see these things on the news, the news will only put one side, you know, or one type of people, as I said to the bishop. But actually, it's really cutting across all those, and I think that's quite impactful actually. Just the elder people, the families, the young people and stuff like that are really all concerned with this. And I'm just looking around now, and everyone's sat down. It's really a lovely atmosphere, and people are really passionate. A lot of people just talking about all this as well. So see if we can grab some more people. So I'm here with Tearfund and a very windy. The wind's just come actually. The wind's really nice because it's cooling us all down. Gemma here has got her panda. I don't know if you can see it.
The part.
No, she's got the part from the WWF, and they're not the old wrestling ones. So Tearfund, huge Christian charity, and you've launched your rubbish story and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Sarah.
Hello.
So what's inspired you to come today and be with Tearfund, and what does climate change and climate action mean to you?
Well, climate action has been a real priority for us at Tearfund for over 20 years, because where we work with 50 countries all over the world, people have been telling us that their crops are failing or droughts are coming more regularly or more intensely, and we know that's because of climate change.
Yeah.
And so for us it's a huge issue, and it's an increasingly urgent issue because we're not acting fast enough as developed countries. So, and as Christians we should really care about this, because God tells us to love the poor and things like that. So we're a faith-based organisation,
yep.
and that means that it's essential to our faith to practice it by talking to politicians like today.
So what? So the whole thing of like now, it seems like, because you said you Tearfund have seen it for years, and what's been happening with everything catching up. What's the action now, and how's Tearfund encouraging other people?
And what do we have to do right now today?
Yeah, because like you're saying, well, this is what we've. Someone talk about world non.
7 million disposable cups.
Oh, that's the same as our other rubbish campaign. So, can we carry on talking? Maybe?
Yeah. So So you say like Tearfund's been one of the heart of your things for 20 years, and now everyone else has taken notice. So how are you working with that and kind of this kind of groundswell?
We're having conversations with lots of other organisations about what the change in public opinion means to us. So there has been a huge change, I think, since the spring and different events. We're really supportive of the youth climate strikes.
Yeah.
And pleased to see children raising up, because it's an issue that will affect them much more than any of us adults. And they, I think adults today do have a responsibility to act and to do something that's really different. Like the time has come for us to say business as usual is not going to be enough.
Yeah.
Slight changes is not going to be enough. We need to take big actions, and I think we can expect our lives and our world to change quite a lot in the next few years, and we need to be part of shaping that for current generations, and also for people in developing countries, as well as for future generations.
And what's your rubbish campaign?
So this is not necessarily a climate campaign. We're talking to Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Unilever and Nestle, because 2 billion people in the world don't have their rubbish collected, and these companies are producing lots of products that's made from single-use plastic, and they're selling it in countries that where poor people don't have it collected.
Okay, so you're making that highlighting, but it does add to
that's our current big campaign, and we also at the same time always promote things on climate change.
And what's it mean to you personally though, climate change and being here and taking away the Tearfund? How do you live your life, and how does this affect your life?
More than 10 years ago I watched An Inconvenient Truth. I don't know if you know that film, and in it it's really clear that we're causing climate change, humans are causing it, it's a big problem and it's going to get worse. And when I watched it, my children were babies. I had 2 children at that point and they were tiny, and my husband and I just looked at each other and said, how can we look our children in the eyes when they're older and say we did nothing about it? Okay. So it's become my job and passion. So we do things like reduce how much meat we eat. We don't usually fly. I fly a bit for work actually, but on holiday we drive to see my sister in Slovakia, even though that's really inconvenient. So I suppose we're hoping to embrace activities, even if they're uncomfortable, because we just think it's part of our worship, part of how we maybe demonstrate the world as we need to live in.
Thank you. Thank you for your words. Thank you for. Yes. I wasn't sure if she wanted to do that. It's always hard getting in front of the camera. The wind is blowing now. It's hot. Lots of people gather around, as I said before. lot of charities here. Jim is now chatting with people. Right, let's try find one more and see from their point of view why this day is important to them. So I was looking around to find someone to interview, and then I thought, why do I not, and she's trying to run away and hide from me, why do I not interview behind the scenes and shorter, so I need to get down, why don't I interview the person who got me down here, and why is it important to you and your passion. So you got me down here, you want me to show me this, you want to show me change, and show me a big change. I'm really impressed with the type of people here and their passion and those things. Need more information. That's an aside, but the talk was good this morning. But why?
Information is there to be found if you seek it.
Okay. So what's it mean to you? What's this coming down here? What's it mean to you? I've seen you throughout the day off the camera. You've been really excited and really impressed.
I found it a relief to see there are so many people here, so many people care and are trying to bring about change. I think, I spend quite a lot of time in developing countries, and I've seen firsthand, the effects of climate change, water shortages, and it's going to get much, much worse, and probably very quickly. And I think that it's really important that developed nations are taking a lead in addressing this. And here in the UK, we have the power to make a change.
And I've been here today with the amount of people, and over the other side of the river, there's loads. It takes ages to get anywhere. What was your kind of expectations, and what were you thinking? Are you pretty blown away by who here, the type of people are here?
No, it's actually kind of as per my expectations, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have the view that it's going to be a bunch of hippies like you did.
Yeah, no, I did, and I say that. We're going to walk to the sun here because it's got a bit dark. I did. I saw the climate rebellion things in on Oxford Street, and on the TV, and the TV is really.
I don't think the TV coverage is impartial, though. I think
no, it isn't, and
they're portraying it in a certain way.
Yeah, and I knew that.
There were lots of vicars there.
Yeah, there were. And you got a vicar here, so there you go. It cuts across, and that's what really has surprised me. We know that mainstream media do it very differently, and actually this is really impactful, seeing just like normal, everyday people
that's because we all need to care.
Yeah, I know, and that's what it is, and that's what's challenging. A range of different views, a range of different ways we can come to it. So, but what are you going to take away from today then? What's the big encouragement or the big thing?
I'm definitely going to come to the next one because it's awesome. Well, we'll have to see if if the government listen, if there is any actual action, because it's all very well to make statements, but we need to actually deliver on those statements and make real progress in legislation to improve environmental protection, to reduce carbon, to stop the third runway at Heathrow, to stop HS2.
One thing that I've speaking to a couple of people on and off camera is they talk about their own individual personal thing as well. It's like, yes, the government need to do it, but also we need to do our part.
I'm already vegetarian, I already carbon offset, I do fly too much, and I am trying to fly less.
I had a vegetarian sandwich because of her.
I'm not buying you a meat sandwich.
So, and there's pretty few nationalities as well.
Yeah.
From all over. Do you think the MPs ultimately, and I'm pretty impressed that a lot of MPs have come down and they are still speaking to their constituents. Do you think they're going to go off and... not ours at all, no. Do you think they will make a change? Do you think they will listen? Do you think Parliament will change over this?
There's clearly quite a few MPs that are on board, that are engaged. Whether they can drive things forward, we'll see.
So I'm going to leave her to recover and get off. I admit, like I said at the beginning, it's one of those things that wasn't a big thing for me. It wasn't on my radar. I'm impressed by quite a lot of things and challenged by quite a lot of things. It's something I will look into more. I do believe that we are damaging the environment in many ways, and I think the two things that have really struck me here today that I would take away is one is the it's what I keep coming back to, the range of people. It's just because this is such a normal everyday issue, it's cutting across the divide, it's getting across everything, and everyone's represented. It's not just one group that's represented, everyone's represented. A lot of faith, Christian faith here, other faiths here as well, so there's a real faith based one. And actually the other thing that goes back to this morning about how we speak about this and how do you make it relevant to people's lives. If this is going to impact so much, how do you bring that impact that's in Africa and South America to people's lives here and make them realise it? Because that's what is the challenge. So my eyes have been opened, which is good, and I've been challenged. So Miss on her phone again will be happy about that, and we'll see, and we'll look into this more. And look over here, you've got an MP, and now you've got to speak to the constituents, and now you've got the TV recording that. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. My thing is just like what's happening around the rest of the world. Then, if we're doing this, and yes, the UK could be so bad at contributing, what about the big other ones, China, India, and America? So it is a challenge, and it's interesting to see where that challenge is going to go, especially to us as Christians. So now we're going to head off back home, and put your comments below. What do you think? Do you think this is all relevant? Do you think it's not? Do you think it's right? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think we could do more? Do you think we just don't need to do anything? What do you think? Lots of exciting more stuff coming up. You know, this is an ethical issue that I'm looking at, opening myself up personally and seeing where I'm at, but also putting it out there to challenge you where you're at. So loads more stuff like this will be coming on the channel, so subscribe, click the bell so you get every video that comes out, and I and her, who runs away, will see you soon. Bye.